Joining me now, as he does each and every week, is Sky News Australia's media watchdog columnist, Gerard Henderson, joining me for the second time on the new desk.
Thank you very much. Great desk.
Thanks for coming on. It is a great desk. Now, you have, you're always finding these hilarious grabs for things that happen on the ABC. But Nick Bryant, you've picked apart a segment that he did, and let's have a listen.
Now to our next guest. He's a product of Oxford University, a former executive of Goldman Sachs, somebody who has led the Liberal Party and a leader famed for standing up to Donald Trump. It is Malcolm Turnbull, the former Prime Minister of Australia, who also has all those things on his curriculum vitae. Malcolm Turnbull, thanks for joining us on Saturday Extra.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Great to be with you.
I don't know whether you were listening there to Nikki Sava. She suggested that you might lead a new force in Australian politics. What do you think about that?
Well, it's very flattering, but I don't think that's not for me. I'm definitely retired from politics.
And why did he retire from politics?
Well, what wasn't mentioned was that he conducted a dreadful campaign in 2016. The Liberal Party lost 14 seats. Labor got within one seat of winning. The campaign went for close to 8 weeks from memory. It was one of the longest ever in Australian history, which was anyone who'd been through when Bob Hawke did this about 15 years earlier knew that would be terrible. It was terrible. So the whole thing was hopeless. He had to throw in $1.5 million of his own money to pay for the campaign. And there's Nick Bryant saying, and Nikki Sava saying, and Nick Bryant sort of suggesting that perhaps he's the man to form a new Liberal Party. And there's another point there, because as I mentioned when I first came on this program last year, Nick Bryant promised as a new person running Saturday Extra that he would have viewpoint diversity on his program. So what he did for the first program of this year, he got Nikki Sava, who's a vehement critic of the Liberal Party, and Malcolm Turnbull, who's now a vehement critic of the Liberal Party, to discuss the Liberal Party. And but no one sort of mentioned Malcolm's failures, which he has never admitted to. I mean, he's been very successful in business and other parts, but he wasn't successful in politics.
Yeah, and also I liked the quip about he's a Trump. He was an anti-Trump. He stood up to Trump. No wonder they like him. Well, let's Peter FitzSimons.
Yeah,
I find it really hard to read stuff that he writes, but you do it for me. You found this tweet by him. Walk me through what he's done now.
Well, what he's done is he's decided that he's going to have a go at One Nation, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's picked on Senator Roberts. And he's basically saying about Senator Roberts that he's an idiot. He can't change a light bulb. How could he develop an energy policy? Now, this is one of the troubles with the left journalist, that they treat One Nation, whether you agree with them or not. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with One Nation, and I do on many occasions. But if you treat One Nation as idiots, it's counterproductive. I mean, Senator Roberts has a degree in engineering from the University of Queensland, a very good degree, a business degree from Chicago University. So he can certainly change a light bulb, and he can certainly write an energy policy. Now, whether you agree with his energy policy, that's a separate point. But he's a well-educated, highly qualified person, and there's FitzSimons just mocking him and laughing at him, saying he can't even change a light bulb. And apart from that, the light bulb jokes is about as old as Moses, you know. It's been around for a long time.
So he's made the sin of a cliche.
Yeah, it's a terrible cliche as well. So
yeah.
Mark him down for that as well.
Melissa Clark on the ABC. We've got a grab of her weighing into this whole, the imam issue. We'll get to that, but let's play the grab first.
The coalition has just split primarily over concerns about restraints on freedom of speech, stemming from the government's proposed hate speech and vilification laws, only some of which passed Parliament, and to now have the most recent coalition Prime Minister now suggesting licensing of who can lead religious services and making sermons available in certain languages is certainly one that is not seen by some Liberal MPs as aligning with the traditional Liberal Menzian views around freedom of speech and freedom of religious practice.
Now, you've made some points about the Menzies, invoking Menzies.
Yes. Well, I'm old enough to know when the left, including the left of the ABC, just loathed Menzies. They hated Menzies. And the idea that somehow Menzies was this great left liberal moderate is absolute nonsense. For good reason, in this, when he was Prime Minister at the beginning of the Second World War, he banned the Communist Party of Australia because the Communist Soviet Union was an ally of Nazi Germany at the time. There was good reason to do so. Then after the war, at the beginning of the Cold War, when he comes back as Prime Minister again, he attempts, but doesn't succeed, to ban the Communist Party again in a referendum which narrowly gets defeated. Now, there was good reason for that as well. There were reasons against, there were reasons for. And then he brought in a very stiffening of the Crimes Act in the 1960 with reference to insurgencies. So whether you agree with Menzies or not, he wasn't a soft, left, moderate liberal. He was regarded as a political conservative. He was a political conservative, and the left of the time just hated him. But now people like Melissa Clark are saying, oh, well, you know, the moderate side of the Liberal Party are all into the Menzies tradition. You're only into the Menzies tradition if you don't know anything about Menzies. He wasn't like that at all. He always said he was a conservative. He named the Liberal Party, but he always said he was a political conservative, and he was tough in these kind of areas. Now, what he would have done with respect to Scott Morrison's comments, who would know? But we know what he did with what was the threat at the time.
And completely right about all of that. And the suggestion that Scott Morrison as well is wrong to say that the Islamic community needs to self-regulate, to me is astounding. But maybe that's a topic for another day, because Gerard Henderson, thank you so much for joining us.